your plans for the off season and possibly playing or just doing individual workouts?
Yeah, I mean, probably take a little bit of a break here, just for maybe a week. I don't really want to lose a ton of the stuff I've worked on, and just trying to get my body back to full health.
Now that the ink has completely dried, the statement has rocked the basketball world and essentially changed the rules for how elite players handle their careers. Caitlin Clark was making moves in the background that would leave the WNBA struggling for relevance and gasping for oxygen, while the front office was busy congratulating itself on a record-breaking season. During the off-season, we all knew something significant was about to happen. The rumors were circulating about where she might wind up. Would she join the new Music Unrivaled League? Would she travel to Europe in search of a huge salary? Or would she just vanish to take a break after performing nonstop for 2 music years? The formal response is now available. And that is the absolute worst-case scenario for the jealous veterans and the WNBA commissioner who tried to keep her in a box. According to NBC, Caitlin Clark has formally joined the NBA. Yes, you heard correctly. She is no longer merely a WNBA player. She has joined up with the NBA to bring basketball back to NBC as a strategic partner with the largest media engine in sports history. This is more than a one-time interview or guest appearance. Music, according to reports, she is taking on a job that puts her on par with industry greats like Carmelo Anthony and Vince Carter. The WNBA leadership is one group of people who are furiously upset behind closed doors, while supporters are applauding this significant crossing. The league's old guard and Commissioner Kathy Engelbert have essentially lost control of their most valuable asset. And if she tried, the time music would be even more rude. A new era, when the player has more influence than the league itself, is ushered in by this seismic shift. However, you need to consider what transpired a few days prior to this declaration in order to comprehend why the WNBA commissioner is allegedly incensed about this action. Throughout the winter, the league has been frantically trying to maintain Clark in their environment. In order to increase the ratings of their new projects, they required her. Rather, she abandoned them. Citing injuries, she declined their offers and accepted a contract to work for the men's league right away. It is the ultimate power move, a statement that she is greater than music and the WNBA, and that, to be honest, she doesn't need them to remain relevant. The consequences of this decision will permanently alter women's basketball, music, and there is a tangible sense of jealousy and terror. This isn't just a contract. It is a protest against a system that tried to stifle her stardom in the name of justice. What is the actual nature of this NBC arrangement then? And why is it paying her more in a few evenings than the WWN paid her for an entire season? Why do veterans think this is an insult to women's sports? What private remarks made by Commissioner Engelbert are said to have encouraged Clark to make this leap? We're going to reveal the truth about the largest betrayal, music, in WNBA history and analyze how Caitlin Clark outwitted those who refused to defend music. So fasten your seatbelts. To grasp the scope of what just transpired, let's examine the specifics of this innovative collaboration. With its famous round ball rock tune and a production budget that makes the WNBA's current setup look like a high school broadcast, NBC is getting ready to revive the NBA in a big manner, bringing back the nostalgia of the 1990s. They needed a face for this new period, someone who could bridge the gap between the Michael Jordan generation and the TikTok generation. They didn't choose LeBron James. Caitlin Clark was selected instead of Steph Curry music. According to reports, Clark will appear on broadcasts for major games, like as those at Madison Square Garden and even the All-Star Weekend, as a special contributor for NBC's Basketball Night in America. This is Clark's team's master lesson in strategy. By connecting herself with the NBA on NBC, she is positioning herself not just as a female basketball player, but as a basketball ambassador. Music, nope. She is basically informing the world that her basketball IQ is on par, music, with the greatest male players to have ever played the game by leaving the WNBA niche and entering the mainstream worldwide debate. The money is the worst part, though. Insiders claim that her compensation for these special appearances probably exceeds her whole WNBA rookie contract, even if precise numbers are frequently kept under wraps. Recall that she received about $76,000 to support the WNBA as a whole for 4 months. Without a doubt, NBC is paying her millions for her appearance, comments, and music. The WNBA front office is in a panic because of this financial difference. How can they bargain with a player who receives 50 times her wage from a men's league broadcasting network? It completely damages the WNBA's leverage. Commissioner Engelbert has music spent the last year trying to convince the world that the WNBA is a lucrative business that treats its players well. However, it reveals the weaknesses in the foundation when your brightest stars go to the NBA's broadcast partner to be paid what she has earned. It demonstrates the existence of the Clark economy, but the WNBA is no longer benefiting from it. Clark is. She has effectively unionized herself, forming a one-woman corporation that functions independently of the music league's restrictive salary limitations. However, there are other reasons why this agreement has angered people outside the money. The time is the issue. This announcement comes right on the heels of the drama surrounding the unrivaled league. For those who are unaware, WNBA players Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier launched the brand new, unrivaled 3-on-3 league. This league's main selling point was that it would offer WNBA players six-figure salaries to keep them in America during the off-season, saving them from having to travel to China or Russia. Everyone, and I mean everyone, expected Caitlin Clark to be the face of Unrivaled. According to reports, the league organizers essentially begged her to participate by keeping a seat open for her until the very last minute. They were aware that without Clark, music would only have a small portion of their potential viewership. In the hopes that she might come to pass, they based the marketing plan on a ghost. What action did Caitlin take? No, music said. Her camp issued statements stating that she needed to rest, heal from injuries, and take a vacation from the court. Although upset, many were sympathetic. After all, she had been playing nonstop for a year, going straight from the NCAA tournament to the WNBA draft to the regular season. However, the NBC news suddenly drops. As it happens, she wasn't too exhausted to work. Simply put, she was too exhausted to work for them. Instead of playing 3-on-3 games in Miami with the same ladies that harassed her on the court during the previous season, she made the decision to switch to a broadcasting and ambassador position with the NBA. You can picture the current group conversations among WNBA veterans. The jealousy is probably unbearable, relying on the notion that women back women, players such as Stewart and Keir risk their names to create unparalleled. Clark sent a silent but lethal message by joining the NBA's media apparatus instead of their league. She favors the NBA's brotherhood above the WNBA's sisterhood. Can you really blame music her? Why would she want to spend her off-season stuck in a hotel with the same people after the way she was treated during her rookie season? The hard fouls, the eye rolls, and the continual public shade from legends like Sheryl Swoopes. Music, it would be like asking a student to spend their summer vacation at a camp managed by their bullies. This leads us to Commissioner Cathy Engelbert's response. According to sources at the league office, this development has angered and embarrassed Engelbert. For months, the commissioner has faced criticism for how she handled the Clark effect. The players chastised her for failing to stop some of the fan base's nasty rhetoric after she failed to adequately shield Clark from violent play. She has been treading carefully in an attempt to win over everyone, but ultimately, music has failed to do so. Her leadership has been defined by a reactive rather than proactive attitude. The clearest indication that Hillary was sleeping at the wheel is this NBC arrangement. Music, with her league's savior openly supporting the tournament, she now has to deal with the optics. Although the WNBA and NBA are partners, they still compete for the same viewers. If Clark is on NBC talking about the Lakers and the Knicks, she isn't talking about the Fever or the Liberty. Traffic to the men's game is being driven by her. Engelbert allegedly feels that the league made Clark giving her the platform to become a professional and that she should be more dedicated to the women's environment. This is a classic instance of an employer believing they have a right to an employee's loyalty without providing the environment or incentives to support it. According to a newly released article, Engelbert allegedly told players to express gratitude for the chances the league offers. This shut up and be appreciative approach is music. Exactly what has built a wedge between the front office and the stars. Clark's decision to join NBC is a clear rejection of that way of thinking. She doesn't have to be thankful, music, for a salary of $76,000. She generates her own revenue. She is demonstrating to Angelbert that she is in control by joining NBC. If the WNBA doesn't make changes to their collective bargaining agreement and begin paying players real money, the stars will just become celebrities who play hoops for fun. And since music cannot be exaggerated, let's discuss the jealousy aspect from the other players once more. Veterans attacked Clark both literally and figuratively throughout the season. Music, Kennedy Carter's teammates applauded her dirty shot. When Clark was knocked down, we witnessed Angel rejoicing.